Yes, folks, welcome. It's time once again for another action figure review here on the MoDXtra Games and Collectibles channel. And as you can see on the screen in front of you today, I am taking a closer look at the Valaverse Action Force Colonel Siege figure. So stick around, I'm going to give you all the ins and outs, ups and downs that you need to know, so that if you've been thinking about picking up a Colonel Siege of your own, then you'll have plenty of info to make a purchasing decision. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of the packaging and let you know how I felt when I first saw the figure on the day it arrived on my doorstep. Then we'll take a look at Colonel Siege himself, talk about the aesthetic and the visual experience, then get into the articulation and the posability experience, then have a walkthrough of all the accessories and added value to talk about what that puts in the pot. And with all that said and done, it should be a nice thorough review so that you know if this is the figure for your cash or not. So let's get into it, and let's get started by going back in time and joining past Chris as I take a look at the packaging. Okay, folks, well, here is Colonel Siege then in packaging, and it's a standard blister on card back. You can see there, got the Valaverse logo, got the Action Force logo, got the number in the corner here, Season 5, number 2. The blister obviously windowed, showing off all the goodies. Mine got a little bit knocked about in delivery, look down in the corner there, but that's a negligible problem for me because I'm going to be cracking it open. Then on the back here, we've got the figure here in an action pose. Got the little promo for the rest of the wave. The file card here that you can cut out and save combat profile. You can pause and zoom in and read that if you're so inclined. Got your action points here that you can obviously save up for limited edition figures that Valaverse puts out every now and again. Legal bollocks and malarkey. This is the sticker over the top because I picked mine up off Amazon, and I'll talk about that in a minute maybe. But yeah, there you go. That's it. Not a great deal to shout about, really. Just standard blister on card back, letting the figure speak for itself, on full display there. So that's your kind of peg present stuff and what it looks like for the minting box folks. But I'm going to go away and crack this bad boy open, get some good hands-on man-child playtime in with the figure. So stick around, ladies and gents, because I'll be back to share some review thoughts after I've had a bit of a play. So see you in a few days, all right? Okay, folks, well, here's the Colonel as he came out the packaging. Soak this silver fox up from head to toe there. He's a good-looking guy, is the Colonel, I think. Good-looking guy indeed. But, yeah, lots to like about this figure, for sure. I'm going to talk about the visual experience to begin with, so let's take a look at the aesthetic qualities and just kind of enjoy it from that perspective to begin with. Getting started up top, above the shoulders, let's talk about the head sculpt to begin with. And yeah, lovely head sculpt, lots of character, lots of personality in there. Nice facial features, good paint applications, with the goatee and the eyes and the eyebrows and the hair and whatnot, which is lovely. I don't know if you can see it under my light so well, but there's a little bit of shading across the furrowed brow and around the cheeks too. Yeah, just lovely. Maybe could have done with a little bit more of a wash in the goatee to bring the hair alive, but there's definitely some shading in there, which is lovely to see. Nicely sculpted hair. Got the shades on the back there. Get him in focus. Got the shades on the back there where he's had his short back and sides buzz cut put in. Many of you folks will know that I don't pick up a great deal of Valaverse. It's hard to get hold of over here in the UK, and I'm not inclined to pay the kind of shipping and the tax on it and what have you. However, the personality of this guy's head definitely drew my attention to him. And just as an interesting side note, your phones, man, your phones are listening to you, because this just came up randomly on the Amazon algorithm. It's in stock on Amazon UK right now. Just showed it to me. So yeah, lovely head sculpt, a lot of character, a lot of personality, really enjoying that. I have got a little bit of a paint smoosh here on the neck. Can you see there? I don't know if that's a bit of goatee paint or a bit of t-shirt paint, but it's there on the neck nonetheless. But in my head canon, I like to think that maybe, he's taken Kill Switch out on a date, it's gone well. You know what I'm saying? I'll let your imagination fill in the rest there. Then into the main torso, and this jacket is lovely. Look at the texture detail on that. I definitely don't think my little lightbox stage here is doing the texture detail on that justice, because that's really nice. Lovely textured detail, got stitching and folds and creases in there. Paint applications on the pocket studs and the zips and the studs around the collar here. Yeah, really nice coat. Got the little pocket flaps here at the side too, can you see, on his jacket. The elasticated rim and the elasticated wrist sections there. Got a different colour on the elasticated outer pieces and around the collar here, the darker brown. Love the brown on top of the blue Valaverse Action Force t-shirt there too, and that, as you can see, has got lots of creases and texture detail in there. Maybe a little bit shiny, but overall, yeah, really lovely kind of 3D sculpting. You can see around the neckline and stuff in there, really nice. Then you got his thigh holster belt setup here. It's a bit chunky across the front here. It's a bit thick, but that's fine. What I do particularly appreciate, though, is the nice brown leathery effect. It's really lovely. You can definitely see it here on the kind of thigh holster sections. Nice leathery effect. And then the fact that we've got paint applications on the studs and the buckles as well. Always a big fan of little tiny touches like this on my figures. And yeah, Bobby's done a great job on that for sure. All the way around as well, look, you got the texture detail all on the back of the jacket and the paint application, little pop studs on the thigh holsters and the belts around the back here. Really lovely work. The legs are okay. I mean, they're a standard, I think they're a standard Valaverse leg, Action Force leg there. These are a little bit plasticky, but again, perfectly forgivable. I'm just nitpicking for the purposes of a video, but it's got all the texture detail and the creases, you know, like the bunching up over the top of the boot and stuff there. Love that to bring it to life. And then just very nice practical footwear again with loads of sculpted detail in around the laces and the soles and stuff, which really give it some depth and some personality. Head to toe look, I'll tell you one thing that stands out to me. I really love the colour scheme. I love this brown jacket on top of this kind of light blue. I don't know, what is that, like a turquoisey, light bluey kind of thing? The brown jacket on top of the t-shirt with the combat pants is a really nice look. It's sort of casual but practical but also professional. Oh, really on board with that, loving it. So yeah, I find he's got a nice eye-catching shelf presence because he kind of sits in amongst the sort of military uniformality. You know, he's got the browns and the green colours in there, but there's just enough something different that he catches the eye, you know, and you can pluck him out. I've had him on the shelf with a little kind of green soldier collection, mostly from my G.I. Joe Classified, and he sits really well next to like Hawk and Rock and Roll and stuff. So yeah, I love the colour combo, and I love that kind of cross between, you know, military professional, but practical and relaxed also, you know. So yeah, aesthetically, thumbs up. The visual experience of this guy is really great. He caught my eye. You know, as I said, I don't go in on Valaverse very often, and there was something about the visual experience and the character of this figure that caught my eye, and so I'm very happy with him aesthetically. Definitely a MoDXtra thumbs up on that one, and that's before I start using some of the accessories to give him even more personality, you know. So yeah, love it. Works well, sits well in amongst my G.I. Joe Classified and the small handful of Valaverse that I've already got. Very enjoyable aesthetic experience. Great. Okay, well, let's now take a close look at the articulation, shall we? Getting started with the head then, we've got a ball inside the skull, ball at the base of the neck, which gives a decent range of motion. You can see it go down, fairly decent up. The back of the collar gets in the way a little bit, obstructs it a touch, but you can see lots of motion, tilt, swivel, all the way around, 360, all fine and good, lots of movement there. Then coming down into the torso, got us a butterfly joint in the shoulder there. Then it's a peg and a hinge on the shoulders, so you can go all the way around, full 360. You've got the hinge up and down there, which is good. Swivel on the bicep and tricep. Pinless double elbow, that'll get you up to there. Quite a big gap on that section, which is a bit eye-catching sometimes. Then we have pegged in wrists, which go all the way around. And then these two trigger finger hands that come on him out the packet. I've got up and down, but you'll see in and out and up and down on various different hands in the packet. On the main torso here, got the diaphragm cut, the barbell joint under there, and then a ball at the waist. Loads of range of motion in there, tons of swivel and crunch and stuff. Really good. Drop down joint in the groin here, although mine's quite tight, a bit tricky. I don't know if that's because of the placement of this belt and holster sort of restricting it a little bit, but good range of motion nonetheless. Got good forward. You can Russian ballet out, or at least mostly this gets in the way. And, you know, your forward and back motion for sort of running and stepping and stuff's there. Got a swivel at the top of the thigh here, sort of slightly obstructed by this belt piece coming down the side there. Pinless double knee, that'll get you up to there. There's a calf swivel here, a boot cut swivel that's there, which is a little bit odd. Sort of breaks the aesthetic of it. I don't know if that's supposed to be a continuation of his trouser legs, or whether he's got one of those kind of fold-over pieces that just happens to be the same colour as his trouser legs, you know, at the top of the boot. But why the boot cut's not actually at the top of the boot, I don't know. That's a bit odd. Kind of breaks the aesthetic sometimes, but nonetheless, the articulation quality is there. And then you've got the hinge and the rocker on the ankles. So folks, it's a thumbs up on the articulation. Good, solid selection of articulation. good contemporary standard, lots of posability. You can man-child play to your heart's content and explore a range of possibilities in terms of posing them up. No issues and concerns. And, I'll be the first to say that I was critical of articulation with Valaverse, with some of the earlier Valaverse figures Valaverse figs that I picked up because they were extremely tight, like anxiety-inducing tight, and no amount of hot water or hair drying solve the problem, and I'm really pleased to say that just simply is not the case with the kernel. I had to warm him up a little bit, but in line as standard with warming up I do with most figures. So really pleased. Articulation's a thumbs up. Lots of possibilities. Super posable. All right. Okay, well, there's articulation. Let's now take a closer look at the accessories and added value. And to get us started here with the accessories, we've got the head swap, folks. The cigar chomping Colonel Siege here with a little cigar and a little cigar chomping hole. Although without the cigar, it looks it looks really funny, but with the cigar in there, there you go, nice. Which is really lovely. It adds a lot more personality and character to it. I saw my man Connor over at Fuller's Figures Review. When I saw the cigar stuff, that was it. I was sold. I know it's a bit of a cliche, a bit of a trope, the grizzly cigar chomping colonel. But all those war movies you used to watch as a kid, you know what I mean? So you should go watch Connor's review, by the way, for a second opinion, folks. I'll link it in the description down below. We're like Amazon reviews, ladies and gents. You don't just read the first review and make a decision, do you? You gotta get a spread of opinion before you make your mind up. So go check out Connor's video. But I saw the cigar on Connor's review, and that was it then. That was the thing that really kind of tipped me over the edge and said, yeah, I think I might try and pick this one up. Really enjoying that. Yeah, cliche, but fun cliche. There's a reason why we all like these cliches. Moving on to the hand swaps, I'll start with this one here, which continues the grizzly cigar chomping Colonel theme, because as you can see, there's a hand there with a Cuban curved into his fingers, so he can stick it in his subordinates' faces and give them a bollocking and what have you, but look all kind of casual and tough post-battle and things. But that's not the only hand swap we get in there. We've also got a pair of closed fists, one for each arm, a pair of grippy hands, one for each arm, and a pair of what I affectionately call the ball cupping hands, but these are actually for holding rifles and things and carrying stuff. So in addition to the two trigger hands and the cigar hand I've just shown you, there's a wide selection there, which obviously is great. Hand swaps are awesome. Valaverse always puts in loads of hand swaps because it opens up your world of possibility in terms of your storytelling when it comes to things like dios and taking pictures and that. So I like having a big world of possibility opened up with my posing. Then into the weapons loadout, we can see here that the Colonel's got this sort of like a Wild West Winchester bolt action rifle with a sawn off butt on it, which is nice. Got the lovely wooden effects on the butt and the handle there. Otherwise, it's just it's a painted piece of plain black plastic. But again, just another something a little different when it comes to weaponry to communicate the Colonel's personality and maybe his age. He could be 120 years old for all I know. And then we have a couple of kind of revolver-y, snub revolver type handgun things. I don't know if these are real guns. Some of you folks may like to educate me in the comments down below, and that's fine. You all know I don't know my guns very well, but these are nice shiny metallic look on the main body of the pistol. Then got the black handles on them there. Very eye-catching, well sculpted. Oh, out of focus, sorry folks. And of course he's got the two thigh holsters that you can carry these on the figure, like so. And then finally we've got the foot stand here. A couple of different peg positions that you can put the peg holes at the bottom of his feet into in a light brown colour with this kind of rocky stone design, and like a little card holder there at the back, which is great. Foot stands are always wonderful. And you can see this kind of cut out pattern here, which I assume means you can sort of stand them next to each other, all kind of jigsaw in interlocking in a display if you so choose. Although, as you can see, he's a good independent stander without the foot stand anyway. So it's a good solid accessory selection, big bank of hand swaps, head swaps. You know, these are always positives in my opinion, and I always review stuff positively when they have those in there. He's got a little weapon selection, the accessories, you know, the cigar chomping stuff, the Winchester style rifle, adds to the personality, adds to the character, adds to the storytelling around the Colonel Siege here, which is great. I don't know if the accessory selection is quite as good as some of the other Valaverse figures that I've seen around, but because I'm not extensively kind of engaging with the line or been analysing closely and too deeply, I may be speaking out of turn there, and that's fine. But I feel like I watched Connor's review of the Samurai Dude, and I felt like there was a bit more, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's just because he hasn't got a backpack, and some of them come with backpacks. He could have possibly done with a blade, you know, like a little knife or something. But anyway, all that aside, it's definitely added value at the price point that I paid for it, and plenty of opportunity to tell stories and make great poses and do little dios and take photos. So what more can you want? I think it's definitely a thumbs up. All right, well, let's take a look at the Colonel now next to a couple of other figures I've got, shall we? And to get us started, folks, we have the Colonel here with Pandora. I honestly don't have all that big a Valaverse collection, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Hard to get hold of over here, but I do have a Pandora, and the next one you'll be like, how's he got hold of that one? But what limited collection I have, I'll show you with him up next too. So here's Pandora, who resides with my Dreadnoks, as I'm sure is the case for many of you folks out there. Here's the Colonel next to Condor, Special Operations Condor. Sorry, I forgot the name. I use him as an alternative Chuckles. So you can probably see the theme here. I use Pandora with my Dreadnoughts. I use this guy with my Chuckles as another like undercover spy out in the field. Most of my Valaverse collecting, what limited amount of it is how it integrates from my G.I. Joe Classified. But yeah, very fortunate to get this guy on the secondary market through the UK Facebook group that I belong to. Here's the Colonel with General Hawk here. And, you know, just a pair of jacket-wearing, lead-from-the-front types. And I think they're a really good match, actually. They look great, like as a little kind of command unit. And I mentioned in the earlier in the vid that I thought he had a good fit next to my rock and roll there, just a sort of kind of colour scheme synergy, a bit of uniformality between the two. And again, I think they look banging. They fit really well together. Here we are then, folks. Here's the Colonel going around on the turntable, give you a little 360 look at the figure. And while he's doing that, I'll offer up some final summary review thoughts. And the bottom line is, yeah, it's a MoDXtra recommends. I've enjoyed this figure a great deal. I've had him for about a week now. He's been my desk figure for that week. And man-child playtime galore. Loads of fun posing him up, messing around. Fits in well with the type of stuff that I like to do with my collection, the way I like to display them. I've used the phrase a lot this review. I think he's got a lot of character, a lot of personality. I'm so glad that Connor's review turned my head. And also very glad that the Amazon algorithm then served it up to me on a platter the way that it did, especially after all the drama surrounding UK suppliers over here. And now really glad to have him in my collection. So it's no secret. It is no secret to the regulars around these parts, certainly those who hang around with me when I do a stream, that I'm no fan of Bobby Valla, really. I don't like his kind of arrogant drama farming approach to this stuff. But a good figure's a good figure at the end of the day. And he fits in well with my collection. And frankly, if I made all my purchase decisions based on my opinion of the CEOs and corporate executives that run the companies, well, many of these products that surround me right now I wouldn't own. So, you know, you got to separate the man from the product, haven't you? You know. And it's a great figure. I've had lots and lots of fun with it, and yeah, and it's come a long way. You know, my early Valaverse experience has definitely been reversed with my more recent experiences. So yeah, wonderful. I would definitely recommend it. Certainly in North America. It's still pretty hard to get over here, but I'll pop a link to the Amazon UK. Down below as well if there's any UK viewers, but that's it. That's all I've got for you. So please do drop in the comments down below, share your thoughts on Colonel Siege. Do you own him? I know a lot of folks in America have already got him. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Might you pick one up? All that good stuff. You know how I like to get into conversation with you folks. Some of you gun people can let me know about the pistols. Give us a like. Subscribe, and, you know, come hang out for some other videos in the future. But all that remains to say, he says, slowing down in the hope that you can finish this perfectly with Colonel Siege facing the front at the camera, is I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. And I'll thank you for coming and spending your time with me. I'm blessed to have you as a viewer on the channel. I'm so awful at this turntable bit at the end. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Perfect finish. There we are. Thanks, folks. See you again.